I'm going to keep it, relatively speaking, short today, partly because I get dehydrated faster when I speak. But today I want to talk about preferred stocks, the kind of an interesting class of securities firms use to finance their operations. And we'll talk about corporate governance in general, democratic versus dictatorial corporate regimes. And you're going to find out that what we think of democratic in the real world, we think of that as necessarily a good thing. They're not necessarily good things for corporations. Sometimes dictatorial regimes are better for uh, shareholders, but we'll talk about those. Now, preferred stocks first. We did talk about common stocks, valuation methods, at least using dividend growth model. Preferred stocks, technically speaking, are not stocks. They are indeed debt instruments. As a preferred stockholder, I loan some money to the firm and they promise me a set of fixed dividend payments until the end of time or the company goes under, or sometimes these stocks can be callable. Companies say, I'm going to pay your money early, give me my stocks back. Or sometimes these are even convertible. You have a right to convert one preferred share into a certain number of common shares. But as long as they exist, company firm promises to make fixed dividend payments. These are typically denominated in multiples of $100. It does vary, but typically it's 100. Yes, you are. Let me see. Oh, I must have stopped sharing on the other class. Just a second. Let me reshare it. Yeah, you don't need to see my handsome face. I know it's too much. Even with my scarf, I'm still too handsome. You guys see the screen now on the Zoom? Okay. And company promises typically quarterly dividend payments of say $2 a preferred share. Okay. That means every year you promise to pay these preferred stockholders $8 a year. Yeah, it's a nice little investment. But this kind of sounds like you borrowed money and you're technically making interest payments, right? But for tax purposes, it's very different. If you borrowed money as a bond, and let's say you borrowed $100 and you make $8 interest payments, you can write off as the firm those $8 as interest expenses. They reduce your taxable income. Preferred dividends do not. For tax purposes, they're not any different from common stock dividends. If you're a Microsoft shareholder, Microsoft pays you $2 a share dividend. Microsoft cannot write those off. Why? Because you're essentially getting money from right pocket as shareholders, putting in your left pocket. Why should that reduce your taxable income. But preferred shareholders are not like that. Preferred shareholders do not have what we call residual cash flow rights. As a common shareholder, if and when company is liquidated, whatever that is left, in proportion to your number of shares, you're going to get a share of that. Preferred stockholders do not have that. They only get, if the company is liquidated, that $100 back, and that's it. So if the company is very successful, they will never make more than $8 a year, just like the bondholders. If the company is very successful, they're gonna get their $8 only. What did you say? I guess you weren't talking to me. You're gonna make me do my Robert De Niro imitation. Are you talking to me? There's nobody else here. One of the reasons for tax purposes, preferred stockholders are treated as if it's common stock. Unlike debt holders, the promises that are made to them are not legally binding. So the company says, okay, I'm going to pay you $8 a year. But if they do not, as a preferred shareholder, I do not have a right to go to bankruptcy court and say, these guys did not meet their obligations. Please declare them bankrupt. If they're declared bankrupt, the company is liquidated. We get what we owe. But as a bondholder, I have that right. The company does not make interest payments. If I choose to do so, or a lot of bondholders get together, they can go to court and say, declare these guys bankrupt. Let's sell all of their assets and get at least some of our money back. So preferred dividends are promises, but not legal obligations. Valuations of them are simple because we know exactly what dividends are going to be, constant dividends. So value of a preferred stock is annual dividend divided by required rate of return. So if the appropriate risk adjusted rate for the bank, for the firm is 10%, and these guys are paying $8 a year dividend, that preferred stock should be expected to trade around $80 a share. Even though nominally it's 100, since that loan has no maturity at all, it's going to trade at $80. As the rates go down, value of the preferred stock is going to go up. As the rates go up, value of the preferred stock is going to come down. Now, there are many types of preferred stocks, but one is cumulative versus non-cumulative dividends. For non-cumulative ones, if a firm misses a payment, they do not have to make up for it in the future. So something happened this year. I was supposed to pay $20 million in preferred dividends. I said, I had needs. I'm not going to be able to pay you. Next year, I promised to make another 20, but all I have to pay you is just that 20. I don't have to make the missed 20. For the cumulative ones, makes up past missed payments. So in that example I just gave, if it was a cumulative preferred stock, next year if I can pay, I have to pay 40 instead of 20. Now, in terms of order of preference, there is a difference between preferred stock and common stock.